Have you ever noticed how some people just seem to breeze through anything math-related?
Yeah.
They don't even break a sweat.
Like, it's just natural to them, right?
Right. And then there are others, like maybe us,
Yeah.
who feel our palms get a little bit sweaty
Oh.
when someone mentions percentages,
Mhm.
or, just totally blank when we're looking at a graph.
Exactly.
So what is it
Yeah. What is that all about?
that makes some people totally comfortable with numbers and others just feel uneasy or even straight up panicked?
Yeah. It's weird, right?
It really is.
So that's actually exactly what we're going to dive into today.
Okay.
Looking at all the different things that connect gender. Something called spatial ability.
Okay.
How anxious we get about math,
Yeah.
and then in the end, how well we actually do in math.
Okay.
So it's like this big puzzle with all these pieces that kind of fit together. And we're going to try to figure out the picture. We're going to be using research to guide us.
Okay.
Specifically, a study called Mediation Relationships among Gender Spatial Ability, Math Anxiety, and Math Achievement.
Wow. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is.
But that sounds like it gets right to the heart of what we're talking about.
Exactly.
So this isn't just like who can get the highest score on some standardized test.
No, not at all.
We're really trying to understand the deeper factors, how we think about things, the feelings.
Yeah, the emotions that numbers bring up in us.
And even how gender plays into it, and then all of those things fitting together to make, our own personal experience with math.
Exactly.
So what are we hoping our listeners will get out of this deep dive today?
Well, I hope that by the end of our conversation, you'll walk away with a much clearer picture of how all of these different elements actually work together, and maybe even have some aha moments.
Ooh, that's a good one.
About how and why you learn math the way you do.
Okay, so I guess the first thing we should talk about is this thing you called spatial ability. Can you unpack that a little bit for us?
Of course. So spatial ability, in simple terms, is your brain's ability to understand and work with information that's not in words.
Okay.
It's basically like picturing things in your mind, visualizing shapes, layouts, movements, and being able to move things around in your head.
So like imagining what a piece of IKEA furniture will look like once it's built.
Precisely.
Okay.
That's what we would call large-scale spatial ability.
Large scale, okay.
Which is basically understanding spatial relationships in a larger environment.
So it's like
using a map to navigate.
Okay, got it.
But for our focus on math, we're more interested in small-scale spatial ability.
Small scale, okay.
So it's not so much about finding your way around a new city as it is about being able to rotate a shape in your mind and see if it matches another one. Or figuring out how two puzzle pieces might fit together. And within this small-scale spatial ability, there are a bunch of different skills. But mental rotation.
Mental rotation.
Which is like picturing an object turning in space. That seems to have the strongest connection to math reasoning. And it also shows some of the biggest differences between genders.
Okay, so let's talk about that then.
Yeah.
What do we know about these gender differences?
Okay, so the research is pretty consistent here. On average, males tend to score better than females on tests of spatial ability. And the difference, as we just talked about, is most obvious in tasks that involve mental rotation.
Okay, so do we know anything about what's going on in the brain?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. There's been some really cool research using brain imaging technology to basically see which parts of the brain are lighting up when people are doing these spatial tasks.
So like an MRI?
Exactly. And what they found is that both males and females are using areas of the brain that are involved in spatial processing. But the specific networks and how active they are seems to be different. So for instance, when you're doing a task where you have to mentally transform a 3D object, women show more activity in areas involved in visual processing and spatial reasoning, like the interparietal sulcus, the parietal lobule, the parietal lobule, the temporal gyrus, and the free motor areas. And men tend to have more activation in other areas that are kind of involved in similar things.
Okay.
Like the parieto-occipital sulcus,
Okay.
the left intraparietal sulcus, and the superior parietal lobule. So basically, they're solving the problem.
Yeah.
But their brains might be going about it in slightly different ways.
Okay.
And that leads to that little bit of an advantage on average for males and mental rotation.
Interesting. Okay, so it's not necessarily that men are just better.
Right.
It's more that
it could be.
They're using different pathways to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, and one more thing.
Okay.
When researchers have pooled together the results from lots of different studies, this is called a meta-analysis.
A meta-analysis.
Yeah.
Okay.
They found that males, on average, also tend to have an advantage in visuospatial working memory.
Visuospatial working memory? What is that?
So it's basically your ability to hold and manipulate visual and spatial information in your short-term memory.
Got it.
But the difference here is much smaller than for mental rotation.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit now and talk about math anxiety.
Yeah.
So how is that different from just disliking math?
So it really is more than just not liking math.
Okay.
It's a whole negative emotional reaction.
Okay.
You know, feelings of worry, nervousness, or even fear that come up when people are working with numbers.
Right.
Or are in situations that involve math.
So it's like stage fright.
It's actually really similar to stage fright.
Okay.
It can even cause physical reactions.
Oh, wow.
Like an increased heart rate.
Oh.
Yeah, specifically when they're dealing with math.
Interesting. Okay, so the research has shown that it's not just like in their head.
No, it's a real physiological response.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how about gender differences with math anxiety?
Well, the research here, too, shows that females tend to report higher levels of math anxiety than males.
That makes sense.
This has been found in many, many studies.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why?
Yeah, why is that?
Well, there seem to be a few different factors.
Okay.
So one is that females, on average, tend to have lower self-belief when it comes to their math abilities.
So they just don't think they're good at math.
They don't feel as confident that they can be good at math.
Okay.
They also tend to have more negative feelings towards math, and they say they enjoy it less.
Okay.
And unfortunately, they're more affected by those stereotypes that suggest that math is more of a male subject.
Right, like girls aren't good at math.
Exactly. And that can be really damaging.
Yeah, it makes sense.
To their confidence.
Yeah.
And can lead to more anxiety.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about different types of math anxiety.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what those are?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So researchers have looked at it from a bunch of different angles.
Okay.
So some look at the anxiety you feel when you take a math test compared to the anxiety you might feel just around numbers in general.
Like in your daily life.
Exactly. Others focus on the emotional part of the anxiety, like the actual negative feelings versus the thinking part of the anxiety, like all those worries you have about your performance.
Interesting.
Then there's also the difference between anxiety that's a stable part of your personality, like something you're just prone to, versus the anxiety that's triggered by a specific situation.
Right.
Like being faced with a really hard problem.
Okay.
And they call those trait and state anxiety.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of that?
I have, yeah.
So do these different types of anxiety show different patterns?
They do.
Okay.
So for instance, one study with college students found that women in math classes reported much higher levels of anxiety.
Okay.
Specifically related to taking math tests.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Another study with teenagers found that females had higher general math anxiety. Okay.
But they didn't find a difference in that specific situation-based anxiety.
So it's like it depends on the study.
It does.
Okay.
And then another interesting thing is that when you separate the emotional and thinking parts of anxiety, girls report stronger negative emotions related to math.
Okay.
But there aren't big differences in the worry part.
So it's the feelings more than the thoughts.
It's like the feeling of being overwhelmed or stressed.
Right. Okay.
Versus thinking, oh, I'm going to fail this test.
Yeah. Okay.
And those negative feelings are actually a better predictor of how someone does in math.
For both boys and girls.
For both boys and girls.
Okay, so it's not just about like being a worrier in general.
Right.
It's about how math actually makes you feel.
Exactly.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
But you know, not all studies have found these gender differences.
That's true.
In math anxiety. Yeah. So why is that?
It's important to remember that math anxiety isn't just one thing, and different studies might be looking at different aspects of it.
Oh, okay.
Which can lead to different findings.
That makes sense.
Plus, those gender differences in math anxiety might not become noticeable until later in school.
So like maybe high school.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And there are other things, like a person's overall attitude toward math.
Okay.
And their belief in their own abilities. That can also influence whether or not we see these differences.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we've talked about how boys tend to be a little bit better.
On average.
Yeah. On average with spatial skills.
Right.
And girls tend to have more anxiety about math.
Yeah.
So how are those two things connected?
Well, the research seems to show that they have an inverse relationship.
An inverse relationship?
Meaning that people with lower spatial ability
okay.
might find math problems harder.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then that can lead to them feeling more anxious.
Yeah, so it's like a negative feedback loop.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the other way around, people with high math anxiety have been shown to do worse on spatial ability tests.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So why would that be?
Oh, well, it's thought that the anxiety might be using up some of their mental resources that they need to do well.
Got it.
On those spatial tasks.
So it's like their brain is too busy being anxious to focus.
Yeah. And specifically, it's small-scale spatial ability.
Right.
That ability to mentally manipulate objects.
Yeah.
That seems to be a good predictor of math anxiety.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that visual spatial working memory we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
That might also play a role
in
making someone more vulnerable to math anxiety.
Okay, so I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Does the poor spatial skills cause the math anxiety? Or does the math anxiety cause the poor spatial skills?
That's a great question.
Which comes first?
And one that researchers are still trying to figure out. Ideally, studies that follow people over time would give us a clearer answer.
Okay.
One thought is that if someone struggles early on with basic number and spatial skills, that could lead to them developing math anxiety later on.
Oh, okay.
So the prediction would be that people who start out with weaker spatial abilities might be more likely to become anxious about math later.
Okay, that makes sense.
But for what we're talking about today, it seems more likely that having lower spatial ability might contribute to that math anxiety. Just because of when these differences tend to show up.
Okay, so let's talk about the last piece of the puzzle, math achievement.
Yeah.
So how do we measure that?
Well, math achievement is basically the overall knowledge and problem-solving skills that someone's gained through learning. And that's usually measured through different kinds of tests.
Okay, so do we see those same gender differences?
That's where things get interesting.
Okay.
Because it's not as clear-cut as with spatial ability and math anxiety.
Yeah. Oh.
The findings here are much more complex. And they really depend on the top of math skill we're talking about. And interestingly, older studies tended to show bigger differences, favoring males, compared to more recent research.
So it's changed over time.
It has.
What do the new studies say?
So when researchers combined the results of many studies over time, they found that the gender differences in math problem solving have gotten much smaller.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, one huge study in the U.S. found no gender differences.
None.
None.
Wow,
in math achievement overall. But when you look closer, basic number skills and simple arithmetic show the fewest differences. And females might even do slightly better.
Really?
Yeah, in computation. And the biggest differences, if there are any, usually show up in those more complex problems. It also seems that these differences are more common in high school and beyond. And are pretty small. Or non-existent. In elementary and middle school.
So, like, it's not an innate thing.
Right. It doesn't seem to be.
It's more like something that develops.
Yeah.
Over time.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, so it's not that boys are just better at math?
No, not necessarily.
It's a much more complex picture.
It really is.
Okay, so how about the connection between spatial ability and math achievement?
Though this link is pretty strong. And it shows up really early, even in childhood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Research shows that spatial ability plays a role in math achievement.
Okay.
Both in how the brain works and in how well people actually do on math tasks.
Got it.
For example, even with 3-year-olds.
3-year-olds.
3-year-old.
Wow, okay.
Their ability to build with blocks predicts how well they'll do on math tasks at that age.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so why is there that connection?
Well, one idea is called the theory of magnitude.
Theory of magnitude? Right.
Which basically says that our brains might use similar pathways to understand numbers and space.
So like that mental number line?
Exactly.
Okay.
Think about how we imagine numbers on a line. That connection between understanding the size of numbers and visualizing them spatially seems to be happening in a region of the brain called the intraparietal sulcus.
Wow.
Yeah. Plus our ability to create those mental pictures of numbers.
Right.
Links spatial ability in math too.
Yeah.
And studies that have followed people over time support this connection.
Okay.
For example, how well kids do on spatial tasks in first grade predicts their math achievement in 5th grade.
Wow.
And early abilities in visualizing and working with spatial information predict how well they process multi-digit numbers later. Maybe because place value relies on spatial concepts.
Oh, interesting.
And even how well kids can visualize things in kindergarten predicts their arithmetic skills in 1st grade and how much they improve through 3rd grade.
So basically, spatial skills are really important.
They seem to be,
For math.
Right from the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, so what about if we try to improve those spatial skills? Would that lead to better math skills?
That's what everyone wants to know, right?
Yeah.
So there have been studies that have shown that even a little bit of mental rotation training can improve kids' ability to solve certain math problems. Some early studies didn't find that it helped overall math achievement. But more recent programs that have included spatial visualization activities into regular math instruction have shown more promising results. Like helping kids compare number sizes and solve certain types of problems.
So it's not hopeless.
No, it seems like spatial skills can be learned and improved.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about spatial ability, math achievement.
Yeah.
How does math anxiety fit into all of this?
So the relationship here is usually a negative one. Meaning that higher levels of anxiety are linked to lower levels of math achievement. And this connection is influenced by both things about the person, like their thinking abilities, emotional responses, how motivated they are, and things about their environment, like the classroom, or even the anxiety levels of their teachers and parents.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So back to that question of what comes first, the chicken or the egg.
Right.
Does feeling anxious about math cause you to do poorly?
Yeah.
Or does doing poorly cause the anxiety?
Right.
It's a tough one.
It is.
So what do we think?
Well, some studies suggest that the anxiety can get in the way of doing well. Because it uses up the mental space you need for problem solving.
Makes sense.
It can disrupt your focus or affect how you understand numbers. But on the other hand, struggling in math can definitely lower your confidence and make you more anxious later. So it really is probably a two-way street.
Okay, so another loop.
Yeah.
But this one's a bad one.
Right. This one's a vicious cycle.
Okay, but didn't some studies not find that pattern?
Yeah, some studies haven't found a strong direct link between math anxiety and things like grades. Or whether or not someone wants to take more math classes. But the general evidence still points to a negative relationship between the two across all genders, education levels, and types of math problems.
Okay, so we've laid out all the pieces. Now, how do they all fit together?
So the big question is how are all of these things connected? And what researchers have suggested is that the gender differences we see in math anxiety might actually be explained by the differences we see in spatial ability. So because males on average do better on average on spatial tasks, and females report more math anxiety. It makes sense that spatial ability might be the link.
So it's like a bridge.
Yeah, a bridge between gender and anxiety. So basically the idea is that because females might have slightly lower spatial ability, they might find some math tasks that use visualization more challenging. And that could lead to increased anxiety.
Makes sense.
And studies have shown that spatial ability does play a role in explaining the relationship between gender and math anxiety.
Interesting.
But it's important to remember that these studies are showing us connections, not necessarily cause and effect. But because we tend to see the gender differences in spatial ability earlier than we see the differences in math anxiety, it seems likely that spatial ability is influencing the anxiety more than the other way around.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about math achievement?
Oh, yeah.
Does that play a role too?
So that hasn't been as directly tested.
Okay.
But it's possible that differences in math achievement could also be a part of this.
Okay.
Like if early experiences lead to different levels of success in math, that could affect how anxious people feel about math later on.
Yeah.
And as we said, math anxiety and math achievement probably influence each other.
Right. So it's not a one-way street.
No, it's like a big web.
A big tangled web.
With all these different factors.
All connected.
All connected, yeah.
Okay, so the research that we've been looking at today proposes a model.
It does.
Of how all of this fits together.
It does.
Can you tell us about that?
Of course. So basically what they propose is a sequential model.
The sequential model. Okay.
So this model suggests that gender influences spatial ability. Which then influences math anxiety. And then finally, that affects math achievement. But importantly, it recognizes that math anxiety and achievement probably have a back and forth relationship too.
So it can go both ways.
They can go both ways, yeah.
So it's like a chain reaction.
Yeah.
Kind of with a loop at the end.
Exactly.
So it's not just like a straight line from gender to math scores.
No.
It's much more complex.
Yeah.
And spatial skills and anxiety are a big part of it.
A really big part.
Yeah.
So what's really cool about this kind of model is that it lets researchers test all of these different links at the same time. So we have pretty good evidence for some of these individual links, like how gender relates to spatial skills and how anxiety affects achievement. But this helps us understand the whole picture. And testing this model is super important for figuring out why we see those gender differences in anxiety and figuring out where we can intervene to make a difference.
So let's do a quick recap. We've talked about a lot today.
We have.
So on average, males tend to be a little bit better at spatial skills.
On average, yes.
Females tend to report more math anxiety. And then the math achievement picture is much more complex.
Yes.
Fewer gender differences, especially in recent studies, especially with those.